Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka post end-of-year messages on social media. Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka enjoyed strong seasons in 2025, adding to their Grand Slam tallies. The American #1 picked up her second Grand Slam title at the French Open, defeating Sabalenka in the final. Sabalenka was made to wait until the final major of the year to lift a trophy, but secured victory at Flushing Meadows, defending her title with a straight sets win over Amanda Anisimova. Both players will be hoping to achieve even more success in the new year, when Grand Slam tennis returns at the Australian Open. Before then, Gauff and Sabalenka have taken to social media, sharing messages with their millions of fans. Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka thank 2025 in end-of-year messages. World number 3, Gauff posted the following message to Instagram. "A lot of dreams fulfilled, a lot of love shared, and a lot of gratitude," she said. "Thank you, 2025. Sabalenka sent a similar message on her Instagram account. "Thank you, 2025, for all the love, laughs, and lessons learned along the way," she said. "This year was definitely one for the books." Neither player will forget 2025 in a hurry, but how did they fare when they played each other this year? Aryna Sabalenka vs. Coco Gauff in 2025. Gauff and Sabalenka met for the first time this year in the final of the Madrid Open on clay. Showing her class in the Spanish capital, Sabalenka defeated Gauff 6-3, 7-6. This year was definitely one for the books. Neither player will forget 2025 in a hurry, but how did they fare when they played each other this year? Aryna Sabalenka vs. Coco Gauff in 2025. Gauff and Sabalenka met for the first time this year in the final of the Madrid Open on clay. Showing her class in the Spanish capital, Sabalenka defeated Gauff 6-3, 7-6. Failing to compose herself in time for her post-match duties, Sabalenka made several comments which she later apologized for. "If Iga Swiatek had beaten me the other day, I think she would have gone out today and gotten the win," said Sabalenka. Sabalenka's suggestion that Swiatek would have beaten Gauff in the final was poorly received. Anticipation was high for Sabalenka and Gauff's third match of the year, but fans had to wait until November, when they met at the WTA Finals in Riyadh. There, it was Sabalenka who prevailed, winning 7-6, 6-2, to clinch their 2025 head-to-head, 2-1. Only time will tell if the Belarusian can maintain that form should they face off again in the new year. Perhaps the pair will face off at the Australian Open, which begins on Sunday, January 18, 2026. 2 posts. One timeline. The tennis season ended not with a roar, but with a pause. No rackets cutting the air. No sneakers squealing across hard courts. Just thumbs scrolling, screens glowing, and 2 messages, posted hours apart, floating into the same digital space. Different fonts. Different tones. Same year behind them. Coco Gauff. A thank you written in motion. Coco's post feels like movement even before you read it. A carousel of photos. A trophy lifted with disbelief still in her smile. A quiet moment tying her shoes. A blurred shot of the crowd, because sometimes the memory matters more than the clarity. Her caption isn't long, but it breathes. It sounds like gratitude learned early, like someone who knows the weight of expectation but refuses to let it harden her. She thanks her team, her family, the fans who believed when belief was easier, and the ones who stayed when it wasn't. But between the lines, there's something else. Growth. This wasn't just a year of winning. It was a year of becoming. A year where pressure didn't crush her, but shaped her. Where setbacks didn't feel like failures, but instructions. Coco's message reads like a letter written while walking forward. She doesn't dwell on the past, even though it sparkles behind her. She hints at the future, but doesn't rush toward it. Instead, she stands in the present, aware of how rare that balance is at her age. Her final words feel light, but grounded. A promise to keep learning. A promise to keep loving the game. A promise to herself most of all. And suddenly, the comment section fills with hearts, fire emojis, and something deeper, relief. Because the world didn't just watch a champion rise this year. It watched a young woman grow into herself. Aryna Sabalenka, strength, rewritten. Aryna's post arrives later, fewer photos. Sharper edges. Where Coco's feels like motion, Aryna's feels like stillness. The kind that comes after storms. Her images show power, serves frozen mid-explosion, fists clenched, eyes locked forward. But there's also something new tucked between them. Calm. Her caption doesn't soften her strength. It reframes it. She writes about resilience, not as a buzzword, but as a lived thing. About battles that didn't make highlight reels. About learning to breathe when the moment screamed. About trusting herself when doubt was louder than the crowd. This is not a message asking for applause, it's a statement of survival that Aryna's tone carries the weight of someone who has been both underestimated and overjudged. Someone who has learned that power without control can break you, and that mastering yourself is harder than mastering any opponent. She doesn't list her titles. She doesn't need to. Instead, she thanks the people who stayed when things were heavy. The team who helped her find balance. The fans who saw more than just volume and force. Her final line is simple. Almost quiet, but it lands hard, because it isn't about proving anything anymore. It's about owning who she is. 1 year, 2 voices on the surface. The posts couldn't be more different. Coco's feels like sunrise. Aryna's feels like dusk. One speaks in hope sharpened by youth. The other in confidence earned through struggle. But together, they tell a bigger story about women's tennis, and about what success actually looks like. Not a single path. Not a single personality. Not a single way to carry pressure. Coco shows that joy can coexist with greatness. That growth doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. Aryna shows that strength can evolve. That vulnerability doesn't weaken dominance, it refines it. Scroll far enough, and you see fans debating, comparing, choosing sides. But the posts themselves don't compete. They coexist. 2 truths on the same timeline. After the likes fade, social media is fleeting. Stories disappear. Algorithms move on, but some messages linger, not because they go viral, but because they feel honest. Coco's post reminds young athletes that you don't have to lose yourself to win. Aryna's reminds seasoned fighters that reinvention is not surrender. Both say, in their own ways, I'm still here. I'm still learning. And I'm not done. The season may be over, but the story isn't. It's just waiting. In training sessions unseen, in quiet mornings off court, in the space between who they were this year and who they'll become next. 2 posts. 1 sport. End of year. Not an ending at all, just a breath before the next serve.